Hello, gorgeous souls. Hope you're having a great day. And I wanted to share some really big takeaways that I had from completing High Rocks last Friday with my daughter, which was a huge celebration in itself. Definitely so much joy crossing that finishing line with her. And they say, teamwork makes the dream work. Absolutely, that was true in every sense of the word in this particular case. However, I want to look at it through the lens of how you can create an even better relationship with yourself. One of the things that most people don't realize is that your goals, the goals that you set for yourself, are your relationship with yourself, or form a huge part of that relationship that you have with yourself. Because really it's about what are we going to do with this one wild, precious life of ours. And our goals, or if goals goals can be a loaded word for a lot of people, our intentions, our hopes, our dreams. I feel like hope kind of is a much weaker or diluted way of saying what our intentions are, but certainly our intentions, what it is that we want to create for ourselves and how we wish to experience life is such a critical and important piece. And this is where actually really getting clear on these things is so important. And for me personally, having those fitness goals really helps define, what type of training that I'm going to do. If, somebody comes to me and says, hey, I want to get a bit fitter, or I want to get a little bit healthier, what does that specifically mean for you? Because somebody that wants to build muscle, or perhaps partake in a bodybuilding competition compared to somebody that wants to run their first marathon, obviously the actions that they take are going to be vastly different in each of those cases. And this is why getting specifically clear on what your own personal goals or your own personal intentions are is so important, because so much of that shapes the decisions that we make then to take action on that. And when we're not clear on our goals first and foremost, it's really hard to figure out, well, how am I going to get fitter? What am I going to do to get fitter? I'm just using that as an example, but you can apply this in every other area of life, whether it be relationships or intimate relationships, or whether it be with money or business or career or finance, or relationships with friends, or, again, you get the gist. You can really apply this in every other area of life as well. However, defining what that actually is for you really becomes like a personal boundary as well, because it's like what defines you, what makes you you, and leaning into that authenticity and your hopes, your desires, your dreams. And what I love personally about goals or intentions that we're moving towards, or that we're progressing towards, is that it is normally slightly outside of our comfort zone, if that makes sense. So it edges us towards that growth area. And even if we're just focusing on becoming 1% better every single day, whether that's 1% fitter, healthier, or stronger, or 1% able to communicate better in relationships, or 1% greater awareness, all of those key things really do support to become prouder, to love ourselves more, and to show up for ourselves as well. And so very quickly, I know that I popped a blog post below, but I also wanted to lean into the 5 biggest things that I learnt with High Rocks, which is number 1, preparation is key. The more prepared we are for any circumstance, be this relationships, be it finance, or running a business, or getting educated in our preferred career or training, all of those things, preparation is key. We feel so much more confident and capable when we feel fully prepared. When we're underprepared, or we haven't taken the time to understand what we need to do to feel prepared, then there will always be high levels of anxiety. We'll feel like we're trying to push through or survive or fake it till we make it. All of that will create stress in the body, and it really not only reduces the enjoyment, but it waters down the experience as well. Number 2 is who you choose to bring on the journey with you is so critically important. I was so grateful to be able to do this experience with my daughter for so many reasons, but also, doing hard things together created, an even deeper level of connection, joy, love, understanding, all of those different things. And just achieving that together was a really big milestone for us both. Intention is absolutely key with anything that we do. Why are we doing it? What is the purpose behind it? What is our main outcome that we wish to create from this experience? Your intention absolutely drives your emotional experience of whatever it is that you're doing. So intention, really, getting clear on that and how you wish to experience something. Do I want to do a grueling marathon that I just get through, or do I want to do it easily or joyfully, or in a way that really works for me personally? I'm just, again, using that as an example, but intention is absolute key, and definitely absolutely impacts the emotional experience that we have doing that thing. Number 4, challenging ourselves in ways that allow us to grow. This has been my first kind of like really big event in quite a few years, literally since my burnout. I did a walking marathon about 2 weeks before I went through massive burnout back in 2020. Prior to that, I had done 7 triathlons, I'd done half marathons, I'd done all sorts of different things over the years. However, this was my really big first event that I had done since navigating burnout, and whilst navigating a lot of grief and emotional upheaval, and it's been a really big year for me in so many ways. But having that level of focus really gave me a strong foundation from which to focus on, intentions to set each day, each week in my preparation and training as well. So all of that was super valuable. And lastly, recovery is super, super important. Again, allowing the self to or the body to recover is critically important, particularly when we are physically training, but in every area of life as well. We cannot continue to push ourselves or be in that hustle or push mode. I definitely don't recommend the push mode. I recommend alignment for sure from that particular perspective. However, so critically important to really allow the body to recover. Remember, stress is only ever adaptive when we have adequate recovery on board. That actually allows us to have a higher window of tolerance, or a larger window of tolerance. When we don't allow the body to recover properly, that window of tolerance gets smaller and smaller and smaller, which is where we lose capacity in the nervous system. We also lose energy, and you'll find that, particularly from a physical perspective, your performance will suffer over time as well. So recovery is absolute key. So hopefully this has been helpful for you, but remembering, first and foremost, your goals are have such a huge impact on the relationship with yourself, the intention that you put behind them, what you're moving towards, what you're creating for yourself speaks so much of what you believe that you're deserving of, what you can achieve, that self-belief, that self-confidence, all of those pieces is critically important. And the more we show ourselves that we can show up, we can do hard things, that really does help to serve and develop a greater level of self-trust, self-belief, when we do it in a way that is honouring of ourselves, honouring of where we're currently at, and being able to progress and grow as well. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Lots of love from me to you.